Welcome to Concrete Block, your go-to source for in-depth analysis and discussion of current events. I'm your host, Walter. Today, we're diving into the ongoing debate about crime rates and law enforcement in major American cities. Recently, President Trump has been making headlines with his efforts to federalize local police departments and deploy the National Guard to assist with crime reduction efforts. This move has sparked controversy, with some arguing that it's a necessary step to address rising crime rates, while others see it as an overreach of federal authority. One of the cities at the center of this debate is Washington, D.C., where the president has already deployed the National Guard to support local law enforcement. According to data, crime rates in D.C. have actually been declining in recent years, which has led some to question the necessity of the president's actions. Meanwhile, other cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, and Baltimore are also being targeted by the president's crime reduction efforts. In Baltimore, Governor Wes Moore has pushed back against the president's plans, arguing that they are not scalable and unconstitutional. Moore has also invited the president to join him on a public safety walk in Maryland, which the president has so far declined. It's worth noting that crime rates are a complex issue and there's no easy solution. While some argue that increased policing and federal intervention are necessary to reduce crime, others point out that these efforts can often have unintended consequences, such as exacerbating tensions between law enforcement and local communities. We'll be exploring this topic in more depth throughout the show, hearing from experts and stakeholders on all sides of the debate. We'll also be examining the potential implications of the president's actions, both for the cities directly affected and for the broader national conversation around crime and policing. As always, our goal on Concrete Block is to provide a fair and balanced discussion of the issues that matter most. We'll be presenting different perspectives and analyzing the facts so you can make up your own mind about what's going on. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're glad you're still with us as we dive into our middle segment. Today, we're discussing a developing story that's garnered significant attention globally. The Israel-Gaza conflict has escalated, with reports of an expanded military offensive by Israeli forces into Gaza City. To provide some context, the conflict between Israel and Hamas has been ongoing for months, resulting in thousands of casualties and widespread destruction. Recently, Israel approved a plan to seize control of Gaza City, which has raised concerns among the international community. The situation on the ground is dire, with reports of famine, starvation, and a severe humanitarian crisis. According to a UN-backed report, an entirely man-made famine is taking place in Gaza's largest city and its surrounding area. The report emphasizes that this famine can be halted and reversed if a ceasefire is implemented, allowing humanitarian aid to reach those in need. The Gaza Health Ministry has reported over 280 deaths due to malnutrition and starvation, including 115 children, since the war started. We've also seen reports of Israeli forces killing 4 people seeking food aid on Sunday as they traveled through a military zone south of Gaza City. Witnesses described the gunfire as indiscriminate, with troops opening fire on a crowd heading to a distribution site run by the Israeli-backed U.S. contractor Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. It's essential to acknowledge the complexities and sensitivities surrounding this conflict. We must consider the perspectives of all parties involved, including the Israeli government, Hamas, and the Palestinian people. The international community is calling for a ceasefire and increased humanitarian aid to address the crisis. As we continue to monitor the situation, it's crucial to prioritize fairness and balance in our reporting. We will provide updates as more information becomes available, striving to present a comprehensive and nuanced understanding of this complex issue. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're wrapping up today's show with a fascinating story that highlights the shifting landscape of global finance. You might have noticed that Hong Kong has been making waves in the financial world, and for good reason. The city's stock exchange, HKEX, has become a hotspot for initial public offerings, IPOs, particularly among Chinese companies. Now, let's dive into the details. According to recent reports, Hong Kong has surpassed other major exchanges to become the second largest IPO destination after New York, especially when it comes to biotech companies. This is largely due to the introduction of new listing rules, such as Chapter 18A for pharmaceutical companies and Chapter 8B for special purpose acquisition companies. But what's driving this trend? Well, it seems that Chinese companies are increasingly preferring Hong Kong over the US for their IPOs. One major reason is the perceived risks associated with listing in the US, particularly given the current geopolitical climate. By listing in Hong Kong, these companies can minimize their exposure to these risks while still accessing a large pool of investors. Another factor contributing to Hong Kong's popularity is its unique market structure. The city's exchange allows for cornerstone investors and broader retail participation, which can drive up demand for IPOs. Additionally, the recent changes to pricing and public offering rules have helped revive the IPO pipeline. However, it's worth noting that some analysts have raised concerns about the potential risks of too many listings in Hong Kong, given the city's limited liquidity. Regulators are taking a cautious approach, intentionally slowing down the listing process to avoid overwhelming the market. So, what does this mean for investors and companies looking to list? Essentially, it boils down to choosing the right platform for their needs. As one expert put it, companies will go for listings where they can raise more money. With Hong Kong offering a more favorable environment for many Chinese companies, it's likely that we'll see this trend continue. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay informed.